Today, we're going to explore a Victorian fairy tale called Anguillette. And I'll tell you right now, this is not a simple story for children. No, this is a much darker, much more complex look at love, loss, and this very Victorian idea that maybe, just maybe, perfect happiness is something that doesn't actually exist. The story kicks off with this incredibly powerful, almost philosophical line. It really sets the tone right from the start, doesn't it? It's basically a warning that no matter how good your life is, no matter what you achieve, you can never truly escape sorrow. It's a heavy, melancholic stage for the tragedy that's about to unfold. So our story begins, as so many do, with a simple act of kindness. A young princess, Plousine, happens upon a creature in need, and she has absolutely no idea that this one chance encounter is about to change the entire course of her life. Now this creature, it's a fairy named Anguillette, but she's trapped in the form of an eel, and worse, she's about to become dinner at the king's banquet. But Plousine, she sees something beautiful and strange about it, and she's moved by compassion, so she sets it free. And of course, an act of mercy like that can't go unrewarded. The fairy reveals her true magical self and promises to repay Plousine for saving her life. And Anguillette doesn't just keep her promise. Oh no, she goes way beyond. First, she gives Plousine this brilliant mind and an eloquence so captivating that everyone is just drawn to her. Then, the fairy is so delighted by this, she adds a second gift, the divine beauty of the goddess Hebe. And finally, just to top it all off, a third gift, limitless wealth. The princess, who is now known as Hebe, seems to have everything a person could possibly want. But remember that opening quote we saw? Well, this is where it really starts to kick in. Because despite having all these incredible gifts, Hebe is just sad. She's plagued by this deep, profound weariness of the soul that she just can't shake. She finds herself sitting by a stream, literally asking herself this question. With all her intelligence, all her beauty, all her wealth, why does she feel so crushingly empty? It's that classic paradox, right? Having everything, but feeling like something is missing. And since she can't figure it out on her own, she goes to the only one who might have an answer, the fairy who started it all. So she finds Anguillette, and she just pours her heart out. She explains the strange sadness that's haunting her, and admits that she feels like something absolutely essential is missing from her life. The fairy, well, with her ancient wisdom, she knows exactly what the princess is really longing for. And the fairy's response here is just chilling. She says, "You sigh for love." But then comes this dire warning. Love, she says, is a dangerous, uncontrollable force. It's a fatal passion, and even a fairy's magic is powerless to save you from it once it takes hold. Of course, Hebe ignores this warning. She wants the gift, no matter the risk. And so, not long after, love arrives at the court, in the form of a handsome foreign prince. And Hebe's life is about to change forever. His name is Atamir, and he's everything you'd imagine. Noble, charming, graceful. He and Hebe fall head over heels in a passionate whirlwind romance. The king gives his blessing, and they're quickly engaged. For a little while, it seems like Hebe has finally found that missing piece, that happiness she was searching for. But then, everything shifts. One day, Prince Atamir happens to overhear Hebe's own sister, Hilary, weeping, as she confesses her own secret, unrequited love for him. And hearing her tears and her devotion, it moves him. Suddenly, his all-consuming passion for Hebe is clouded by this new, dangerous feeling of pity for Hilary. The prince, well, he can't resist this new feeling. He meets with Hilary in secret, and in a moment of weakness, they decide to run away. Together, they disappear in the middle of the night, leaving Hebe completely alone to face this unimaginable heartbreak. Her perfect world just shattered. Lost in total despair, Hebe calls out to the fairy one last time. Now, Anguillette can't take away the pain of the love she warned her about, but she can offer a kind of magical solution, a journey to a faraway land, a place where a broken heart can actually be healed. This enchanted place is called the Peaceful Island, and it's been blessed with this one unique power. It can cure unfortunate attachments of the heart. It's the only place in the world where Hebe might finally find some relief from her grief. And you know what? The moment she steps onto the island, she feels this incredible sense of peace just wash over her. She meets the island's handsome, kind prince, and for the first time since the betrayal, her heart is just calm. The obsession, the pain she felt for Atamir, it finally, mercifully just fades away. But before Hebe agrees to marry the prince of the peaceful island, the fairy appears one last time, and she gives her a final, solemn warning. She tells Hebe in no uncertain terms, if you ever try to see Atamir again, you will die, and so will he. But as we know from these kinds of stories, fate isn't so easily cheated. Years go by, Hebe is happy in her new life, but then she hears that Atamir and Eilary have returned to her father's court, and this overwhelming, fatal curiosity just takes hold of her. She convinces her husband to travel back, just for a visit. At a grand tournament, the rivalry between Hebe's husband and her ex-lover is just put on full display. Her husband wears rose color for Hebe with the motto, "I fear no others." But Atamir, he wears the color of a dead leaf, but with a rose-colored plume and a motto aimed directly at Hebe. "These alone are worthy of me." It's a public challenge. Well, Atamir wins the joust, and the prince of the peaceful island, just consumed by jealousy and rage, walks up to his rival and challenges him to a duel, to the death. The pageantry is over. Their real fight is about to begin. The very next morning, at sunrise, the two princes meet in a quiet forest. Impatient and full of hate, they draw their swords. The fight is absolutely brutal, fueled by years of passion and jealousy. They battle for a long time until, in the very same moment, they each strike a furious, fatal blow. They both fall to the ground, their blood soaking into the earth. Hebe, who's been frantic with worry, hears the cries of her people and runs to the scene. And what she finds is a nightmare. Atamir, the man who betrayed her, lies dead. And her husband, the man who saved her, is dying right next to him. In a final, desperate act of grief, Hebe grabs the very sword that she had awarded to Atamir at the tournament just days before. She declares she'll avenge them both, turns the point upon herself, and before anyone can react, she takes her own life. In the end, the fairy Anguillette appears one last time. Touched by this immense tragedy, she transforms the bodies of Hebe and Atamir into two beautiful trees, and she gives them the name charnes, which is the French word for the hornbeam tree, but it's also a haunting play on the word charms. It serves as this final poetic monument to the beauty and the absolute devastation of these unfortunate lovers.